Alright, I'm going to try and do a real quick video here about an update on Jeep. It got moved from out there to in here. Concrete, less sturdy, more comfortable to lay on. I'm working on the brakes for about a month. I haven't been putting a lot of effort into them, just a lot of beating stuff with the hammer and cussing because nothing wants to work. Got motor tuned up a little bit better. It won't idle still, and any hopes I had of not rebuilding the motor, still spinning, revved it and killed it, have gone away. Both front and rear main seals are completely blown. The reason it smokes much is all of the seals for the valve stems are destroyed. As you can hear by the backfire, the timing is way too far advanced when we're trying to get it to run. It's also why it sounds like it's knocking. Thankfully it isn't, or so I think. Carburetors were all back. I've made it to the point where it will run, but not idle or run correctly. I just wanted to be able to move it around the yard. Hack job at best. Old cord off my truck. For a while it was cutting out. When it would get warm, it would just randomly cut out. And then a few minutes later, or an hour or so later, it would fire back up. I thought, well, maybe all the oil ran out of this. And the coil ain't no good, so I swapped that. Nope. Maybe cap and rotor? Nope. Door spark too, the glorious Ford Never Spark. Why I didn't put points in that, I will never know. The canoe has a new home. $150 canoe. Definitely worth it. I think y'all have already seen I put new tires on it. Marine grade battery, because bought cheap. No warranty. New shocks. Front brakes are done, back brakes are done, waiting to be bled. Alright. My dad came out here to bleed the brakes. And then we realized I am completely out of brake fluid. And I forgot to put the cap on it, so it's sprayed everywhere. I think it's kind of funny. I don't really care about this that much anymore. It's been a pain since I started working on it, and it just keeps getting worse. The reason if it sounds like it's knocking, it's because timing's too far advanced, trying to make it run on dead gas. I gave up with that. Except my dad, I love him. He does me well in his brand new shiny truck out there. With the kerosene can to get me 5 gallons of non-ethanol gas, so it can sit for a couple of years without the gas going dead, or so I hope. Hopefully that's the only reason it sounds like it's knocking. I'm hoping it's just peening or pre-detonation from time way too far advanced. I hope. This thing has a killer good spark. I've never seen anything with it had that much spark. Literally, I had the one plug where I was off and laying over here, and it was throwing a spark about 3/4 of an inch and then to an inch from inside the boot to the AC. It was amazing. I need to shock somebody with this, and it'd be hilarious. Unless it killed them, then I have to get a shovel, and I don't want to dig a hole. Anyhow, back to this. I'm kind of wanting to just run it and be like my dad's last truck where okay, he got the truck for $1. I need to clarify that. It was a piece of junk. He sold the $250 that was to be mine when I turned 16, according to him. I ended up buying a truck out of a junkyard instead, if that says anything. The next truck he got was just some time over till he got something else. It's for $1. you never really filled up on gas. You filled up on oil and chucked the gas. Let's put it that way. It burned more oil than it did gas. That 300 wanted to be a diesel. Speaking of which, I recently found out Ford did have a program where they were experimenting with making a diesel version of a 300 inline 6. I wish they had followed through with that, and I wish they'd made a 400 plus cubic inch version of it. It's the one thing I hate about that, is it just ain't big enough. Imagine that 300 with now 100, 200 cubic inches on it. It'd be a beast. Anyhow, brakes, I hate them. Jeep, I can't fit under it. I can't reach hardly any bolt on it, and then they strip and break, and it just being a pain. It's 50 years of farm life for you. It just doesn't work well. Anyhow, Funny Bar flail tool and a flail fitting for that line there, which I could not get off. Just trying to change the wheel cylinder because it was blown out. Ended up buying another line for it because I cut the line, flailed it, then realized I couldn't. It ended up like an inch short. Fail. Brakes are redone. We tried to bleed them, like I said there earlier, twice now. Changed all the fluids. It runs better than it has before, but still it needs a lot of help. Back to the engine, I discovered, doing some quick reshorts, the front seal I know I can change pretty easily, just pulling the harmonic balancer. The rear, I believe it's a 2-piece main seal. It's a 2-piece rear seal. So I believe I can change that without even dropping the transmission or pulling the engine. If so, I'm probably going to do that, along with some new seals for the valve stems in the head. If at all possible, I don't want to rebuild this. I have another engine for it, and a bunch of engine parts there. That half of the shelf is random crap. And there's some, right there in the middle is AMC parts. My plan for that is board 80 oval. I don't want to stroke it. I want to spend as little money as possible. I'm going to sleeve all 8 cylinders, board 80 oval. Comp cams 278, Edelbrock height, dual plane air gap intake or something like that. Holley 750 Dell pumper. About 10.5 to 1 compression with stock style cast pistons. We'll see how long that lasts. I have doubts about that, but we'll see. Just other than that, just a basic rebuild. According to my computer with a slightly illegally procured version of Desktop Dyno. I found free download for it. It isn't good anymore. I tried to get it again. It wouldn't let me. I'm sorry. Anyhow, my combination overall of what I intend to do to that, probably going to use stock heads, possibly Edelbrock heads if those are cracked or cannot be machined back to flat. Is Edelbrock heads, but either way, ported to polished heads versus Edelbrock heads equals about the same on Desktop Dyno. Mathematically, I should be making around 500 something horsepower and about 550 foot-pounds of torque. Hot Rodder, I think it was, did a very similar version of that engine. I'm in no way copying what they did. I'm just building some pretty similar board 80 oval. They had a stroker actually. Well, I ended up with the same replacement. I'm going to bit higher revving engine. They're going to bit. Stroker usually makes more torque, but either way, I'm planning on something that's going to live from 2 to 6,000 RPMs is where the power band's going to be. Make a lot of horsepower. Make a 50-year-old station wagon go stupid fast. That's the basic plan. So, yeah. If that motor cannot be salvaged and made to run and live for the time being, I'm building that. It's that simple. I don't want to pull that one out that I know is running and overall pretty decent. Because, for two reasons. I'm probably going to, it's going to be easier to sell that motor than that motor. And also, that gives me an easy way of moving around the yard. Because it runs well enough that I can move it around. So, that's why I'm doing it that way. There's a little progress up there on this POS. I don't know whether to light it on fire or to love it. This is so much frustration. I don't know. Anyhow, that's all for this video. Quick little installment on the Jeep. This will be tagged on to the last video I did a couple days ago. We moved it out. As you can see, I've leaked brake fluid and I think that's gas. That's a vessel in the gas tank. I'm not fixing that one. It can rot. Front wheel main seals on the crank are gone. Pulled out my vacuum gauge. It pulls, let's put it this way. It bounces from heel to heel. And it won't idle, so that's on the gas a little bit, but not much. It's barely enough to keep it running. So we either have a major vacuum leak somewhere, or there was maybe a lot of blow-by. Kinda doubt it. Intake gasket or something blown out. I really don't know, but it runs-ish. Run enough to move itself, but barely. Speaking of which, the only way to get, because it won't idle, you have to be on the gas. And, let's put it this way. I was standing by the door, driver's side door, with it open. My dad was driving it and he was smiling ear to ear. I think that thing's finally growing on him. You can see there. That's where my feet drug along because I was behind an open door, heading towards the back of his truck. And apparently in reverse, it will spin a tile weakly in low range after he dropped it from neutral into reverse. That's frankly the only way to make it move at all, because you can't go into it at an idle and expect it to continue to idle. You have to be at RPM for it to not just stall out instantly. And even still, he had to refire it 3 or 4 times, moving it from heel to out there. So, yeah, the motor's getting torn down. I've been telling myself the entire time I would not build that motor for it. And I was not going to rebuild that one, but, well, now I realize I have to pull motor out no matter what I do. So, might as well go through it. Ain't no reason not to at this point. Anyhow, quick little update. Yeep. Some kind of random call. Yeep.